Hi everybody, I'm back to give you another live stream. So before I start today, I just wanted to mention that my husband and I, with our live streams, we won't edit them. We won't edit them so you know that you're looking at the words that we've said. They haven't been jumbled up by somebody. They haven't been cut and paste. You're getting the words straight from us, not somebody else's version of what we've said. Okay, so today, following up on my last live stream, I'm going to discuss a little bit about the Gospel of Thomas. Now, I did mention in my last live stream a little bit of a history of where the family line went, and my live stream today I've called, Are You Waiting for a Saviour to Save You for a Reason? Now, I have cited in previous live streams that certain people within certain religious organisations are the blind leading the blind, and that's for a reason. And today I'm going to go through that with you so you can understand that the original message was a spiritual one and not a religious one, okay? Okay, so are you waiting for a saviour to save you? Now, that's precisely what the lost sheep have been indoctrinated into doing. They believe one book only, and because their mum and dad told them that was correct, then it's got to be correct. And that's not correct. So the Gospel of Thomas was found in Egypt, in Nag Hammadi, in 1945. Now, there was a couple of different translations of that, but this one that I'm quoting from today was the Coptic translations, okay? So the information that I'm trying to tell you today is that if you're waiting for a saviour to save you, the information has already been provided for you to save yourself. It's not a matter of waiting for someone to save you. Save yourself. The information is there. You need to look, okay? So they were called the hidden gospels for a reason, and that's because they took them out. They took them out intentionally so the hidden teachings weren't there. You couldn't see the spiritual link. You couldn't see that you could find God within yourself. You had to go to a church or go to some religious place, a church or something of that nature to find God. That's not correct, okay? So the Gospel of Thomas, the original message was definitely a spiritual one, and I wanted to quote a passage from the Gospel of Thomas, saying 70. It says, when you give birth to that which is within yourself, what you bring forth will save you. If you want to, if you possess nothing within, the absence will destroy you. Now, these words that we're reading from the Gospel of Thomas aren't stories that Jesus has told. These are actually apparently his words. So if saying number 70 says that when you give birth to what is within yourself, what you bring forth will save you, doesn't that mean that it's within here? That's what I'm trying to get across to you today. So when you go back to the start of the Gospel of Thomas, it says in saying number 1, whoever lives the interpretation of these words will no longer taste death. What do you think that means? I think it's pretty literal, that if you take on board these words, his teachings, what he told his disciples, that you won't taste death anymore. Okay? Saying 2 is whoever searches must continue to search until they find. When they find, they will be disturbed. And being disturbed, they will marvel and reign over all. So what do you think that's about? when you find you'll be disturbed. Now, having been through this myself, I was frightfully disturbed when I realised that everything you've been taught in church is not the initial intended or desired result. You're waiting for a saviour. I mean, the church that we used to attend, people sing and they're happy and they're joyful and they're clapping, waiting for a saviour. But that's not the case, where Jesus' own words have said, when you birth which is within yourself, what you bring forth will save you. Now, that's his words, okay? So this describes the initiation process, the spiritual initiation process. So one would be the quest, seeking the Holy Grail. So the heart in which the Holy One dwells, it's within, it's in here, okay? Number two would be the discovery. So you've looked for it and you've found it and you've gone, wow, gee, that is worse than I thought it was. I can't believe I've just wasted 60 years of my life sitting in a church not to be given the tools to save yourself. So number three is obviously the disturbance. You've realised what's going on. You're a little bit rattled by it. Oh, I can't believe that they're teaching this and it is so far off the mark that it's just ridiculous. So then you hit stage four, which is the wonder, the awe. Wow, this really does work. Wow, I do really feel in touch with my spiritual connection, with the universe, with the oneness. You feel that, and it is really, really, really strong when you get it. So the spiritual initiate does not wait for the second coming of Christ, continuing to live in ignorance. Now, that's exactly what it is, living in ignorance. You're going to church, but you're still ignorant of the original teachings because you haven't sought. Remember, it did say in saying 2, you need to seek and find. When you find, they will be disturbed. So if you're not disturbed about what you're hearing at church, then there's an obvious problem, okay? So in faith, the spiritual initiate seeks the knowledge of Christ within and labours to bring forward and then lives their life accordingly. Whoever has ears to hear, let them hear. Let them hear that the original teaching was a spiritual one, not a religious one, okay? So if you seek something that does not exist, you won't find it. At this point, seeking becomes an obstruction. So when I'm referring to seeking becoming an obstruction, I would say more along the lines of Bible study. If you're seeking God through a book that obviously isn't teaching the original teachings, the spiritual teachings, you're seeking and you're finding an obstruction. You're not getting the clear picture, the clear information, okay? Going to church and seeking God is an obstruction. He is within you, inside. We all have it. Okay, so David Icke, I'm going to cite David Icke here because David Icke is a really good example of this. David Icke was pulled over the coals for saying the phrase, I am God, you are God, and we all are God. They chopped and changed and edited what he said to make it sound like he was cuckoo. And he's not. He is not cuckoo. He has been a spiritual initiate and he has found, and he's gone through the disturbance phase, and then he's in the wonder and amazement phase going, wow, he's good. And he's trying to tell you that the original message wasn't a religious one, it was a spiritual one. Okay? So saying 3 in the Gospel of Thomas says, if those who lead you say to you, the kingdom is in the sky, then the birds will precede you. If they say it is in the sea, the fish will precede you. Rather, the kingdom is inside you and is outside of you. When you come to know yourself, then you will become known, and you will realize that it is you who are the sons and daughters of the living Father. But if you will not know yourself, then you will dwell in poverty, and it is you who are that poverty. A change in consciousness is going to bring about a change in your reality, okay? Heaven and hell is a state of consciousness. The kingdom of heaven is not a place. It is a consciousness, a spaciousness that is within, just like hell is a confinement and a limitation of your consciousness. Do you understand what I'm saying? There is no hell. Hell is not below you. Hell is a state of mind. It is in here. You need to realize that heaven is within. You need to reflect inwards, okay? So the awakened ones know that heaven is here and now. It's within. Yet we also know how real the suffering is of those who remain ignorant. To work for whom remain ignorant and asleep, we need to wake them up as light workers, as way showers. We need to show them the way. We really need to do this. We need to push this because the population, the majority of it, is asleep, okay? So to work as a light worker requires two things of you. The two things are, one is the inwardness of all things. You need to work towards the inwardness. Look inside you, okay? To the spiritualize matter. Everything can be spiritualized. So turn it inwards. The second thing you need to do as a light worker is work on the outwardness of all things. Now, when I say the outwardness, I'm referring to manifesting the spirit, incarnating all things fully. Spiritual practice is remembering who you are and then setting yourself free. That's what the Gospel of Thomas is talking about. It's giving you the tools to set yourself free. That's why the hidden Gospels were hidden, because they give you the tools to set yourself free. So those who have ears to hear, let them hear what I'm saying. They need to hear this. It is really, really, really important that we get this message out to the masses, and we do it really quickly. So I wanted to bring up the bushfires that are happening in Australia again. Guys, we are thinking about you. I'm going to arrange a mass meditation. I'm just in the process of doing that now. And we will try and schedule that. Have a mass meditation to try and help put these fires out. Now, I know it's horrific. If you are watching this, you know people that are displaced, please encourage them to turn inwards. It's really important. Okay, so in the spirit of wrapping this up and keeping it a short video, I'm going to leave it with you there today. Thank you for joining me, and I will post another live stream soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.